Thank you so much for inviting me to participate in this program. I only have 3 minutes, so I'm going to get right started. 30 years ago, you see the date on this quilt, 1886, 1986. So 30 years ago, this year, all the quilt world was abuzz about the Great American Quilt Contest. This was a contest sponsored by the 3M Company and the Museum of American Folk Art to celebrate the 100th birthday of the Statue of Liberty. And there was a prize offered of $20,000 for the first prize quilt. So in my home in Winterset, Iowa, population 6,000, when I read about this contest, I wanted to win that $20,000. And so I thought, you know, the traditional quilt will win. And so I used a very traditional medallion style format to make my quilt. And the winners were chosen by state, and so I did win for Iowa. There were only 13 entries in my state. I'd never been to New York, and so my quilt went to New York with all the other winners. Paula Nadelstern, that we know and love, was the New York winner. Were there any other winners here from the Great American? The quilt had to be 60 by 60, so it was kind of a quilt that had no use other than exhibition. And I did come to New York for the first time. I met Paula there. The quilts were exhibited at the New York exhibition here, and then they toured for 4 months. They went to Japan. They did come to Iowa briefly, and I'm getting choked up. She's back! So when I made this quilt, I was the age Mary is now. I was 37 years old, and the face of Liberty is hand reverse applique. The border here is ocean waves to represent New York Harbor, and the lettering is hand needle turned applique, and I taught classes later, and people said it's too hard, so I had to drop the class. But I applique the wording, and then the quilt blocks are symbolic, you know, like the French star, because France gave the statue Brave New World, prosperity, all kinds, friendship. And then the outer border of American Beauty Roses was to represent the growth of American culture. And I hand quilted this quilt, and it looks really great. I grew up in Houston, Texas. I went to high school, graduated in 1967, reading Women's Wear Daily every day. I wanted to come to New York and be a fashion designer. I applied to FIT, I got in, my parents were okay with it. This is 1967. Someone talked me out of going to New York because it was dangerous and I was really naive. And so it's really exciting to be at FIT today. And I really think had I come to New York on FIT, I would now be the retired editor of Vogue magazine.
Hi there, my name is Susan Limata. I'm here in Houston at the IQA Fall Festival 2016, standing in front of my quilt, Stargaze, which is a finalist in the competition. Very honored to be here. I'll just tell you a little bit about my quilt. It was the provenance of the quilt. It started when I purchased a pack of Civil War reproduction fabrics. And once I had those at home and in my studio, I thought it'd be great to make a very traditional quilt. So I decided to use Ohio Star block pattern. So I have 156 3-inch finished Ohio Stars, which took quite a bit of time to complete. The border is a sawtooth border, which is paper pieced. I used a wool batting and 100% silk thread.